Hi, and welcome to another edition of Simply Single. The girls and I are hanging out at the cafe in First Seventh-day Adventist Church in Huntsville, Alabama, and we have another great topic for you. If you've been single for quite some time and you're a Christian, have you ever wondered, did God drop the ball? Let's ask the opinions of others before we bring it inside.
Okay.
I do believe God dropped the ball because I know He has a plan for me, and I know that I'm not going to try and push something when He has something, and I know that right now He wants me to be single, so I'm going to stay single.
No, I don't think I've ever believed that. Sometimes it may feel like that, but as a single person, I think that, I believe the scriptures when they say that, what God says that is not good for man to be alone. You know, He's created us for community and to be with someone, but I think there's a lot of circumstances and situations that factor into why someone may be single.
Yes, I believe He did drop the ball. Like, I don't believe I'm single because of myself. I believe, everything happened for a reason, and I'm at this position for a reason, so I think He did drop the ball.
No, I don't believe He dropped the ball. I'm single because I choose to be single.
Sometimes it's by choice, sometimes they're not ready, sometimes it's just where they are, how they present themselves. So it could be a number of reasons. But I don't think that God dropped the ball.
Okay.
Well, you've heard what others had to say about this question. I'm turning it over to the girls. All right, Christian singles. Maybe you have friends, maybe even you yourself have wondered, did God drop the ball? Have you ever been annoyed with God, mad with God, angry with God, maybe because of relationships busting up that you thought were going to be solid, or because that mate hadn't shown up yet? Let's get really real. Let's get real. Let's get honest. Have you been mad at God? All right, Dom, you're shaking your head, so we're starting with you.
Yes, I have, and the reason why I can say that is because, like, right now I've been trying to get through that. I've been going through it right now, where I just got out of a relationship. I thought, it was, God's plan for me. I thought we were gonna get married. He's this awesome man of God, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this woman of God trying to, live right for Christ, but it did not work out. And so I'm like, I'm mad at God. I was depressed about it. That's what spun off the depression. And, I go a long time without praying to Him. I'll go into church, put on the front, put on the act, like everything is okay, because I don't want everybody knowing that I'm mad at God because, me and this guy that I thought we're going to be together, we're not together.
It didn't work out.
Yeah. So I'm working through it. I'm getting by day through praying and fasting and reading His word, remembering that He knows the plans for my life. That is the reminder for me every day, is that it's happening for a reason, and I would hate for God to bless me and I'm still a mess. So I see it as preparation, and so I have to just thank Him, even if it does not feel good, because it does not feel good. I see this guy every day. I see him every day, y'all.
All right.
But God is still good, and He is in control. I'm not in control. So what I did, I had to do that every day to remind myself that I have no right to be mad at God. He's blessed me. So I just have to trust Him. I'm trusting Him.
So, it really means that you're being intentional about choosing to believe that God is working His plan, even though your feelings are saying,
my
what's
emotions
up?
And my feelings.
What's up, God? I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Well, thinking about what you said, it could be like it's okay to be mad with God and be honest about it, but it could be that God is protecting you from a very bad relationship in the future, because He sees what we can't see. He knows the future. It could be that at the moment it's not good, but later on, who knows?
But Ruth, you said something interesting, though. You said it's okay to be mad with God. Do you believe that? Because I think there may be a lot of Christians who think that's wrong. to be mad or angry with God.
It's okay because God, He understands us. He sees us like little babies. The parents don't get mad with the children when they get mad. It's okay. That's how He sees us.
And He knows we're mad anyway, so there's no point in patronizing God.
True.
I can remember a time when I was mad at God. I filed for divorce when I was 24 years old, and nobody has that plan for their life. Ew, 24-year-old divorcee. And I can remember just being angry, going to church just because the people in the bars were insane. But I wasn't going to church during the morning. I was just going to go to the singles group. And I can remember one day God spoke to my soul that, little Miss Mindy, you sure did not set that first marriage up the way that you were supposed to. So why are you mad at me? And, God tells us to do things a certain way. Yeah. That's because that's what's good for us. That's what's best for us. That's what succeeds. And I didn't go about it that way. And it didn't succeed, and yet I was mad at God.
Yeah.
I can remember that being a huge eye-opener.
I think.
Oh, I was just going to say, in my experience, God has not been the one who dropped the ball. It's been me. And the sooner you accept that you played the part in the things that went wrong, the sooner you can get over it. Yeah. Because He didn't tell me to choose that man. I chose him. If I had waited on God to choose him, it probably would have been a different story. But I wanted what I wanted when I wanted, and I got exactly what I deserved.
Wow. We're going to take a break here because, Ruth, I know you have something else to say for that. But we're going to come back and keep on talking about whether or not it's okay to be angry with God or annoyed with God for your mate not being here right now. Stay with us.
1 in 4 households
40% of all women have never been married. Wait! Don't get weighed down in gloomy facts. Download this new ebook by Patrice Thomas Conwell. Follow her journey to accept and appreciate the single life. Nobody ever told me I might not get married. One woman's journey to acceptance. Available at these retailers and more. Welcome back, and we stopped with Angel making a comment about the fact that it's not God dropping the ball, but us dropping the ball a lot of the times. But again, I think there's some people who are praying, or they say, I've prayed for my mate, I told God I want him to be the one to send him to me, I've been waiting, and here comes this guy or this woman who fits the bill, and God sent him, and then it doesn't work. So who am I supposed to be mad at? Am I mad at myself when I say that I asked God to give me my mate? Shouldn't I be mad at God if I believed He sent him, but it didn't work?
I think that actually goes back to attitude, and it's an attitude of gratefulness. I mean, if you're walking with an attitude of gratefulness, I know every relationship I've had with anybody, whether it's, a friendship or a lovers or whatever it is, you learn something from it. You learn something about yourself. You learn something about the people you're attracting. You learn about communication. And I think the best response is to be grateful for it. Now, I mean, I haven't always been. That's something I had to learn. But it's a sanity keeper, being grateful as opposed to angry. And a lot of times, I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm angry, I'm looking to blame someone other than myself.
Okay, that's true.
Well, personally, I can't say that I know how people feel by being older and don't find anyone, because I was married when I was 23. I knew I shouldn't be because I didn't plan to. But when I became a widow at 28, I decided to be by myself for a long time. So I'm okay with it. But many people are not okay.
Right, because they're not making the decision to be alone.
Exactly. That's not an option. No, they chose. So when I moved to the U.S., it was easier for me because here the pressure is less than in Brazil, for example. Girls are married around, 20th.
Okay.
And being single, like if I were in Brazil, oh man, people would give me a hard time. But here, many women are successful and single.
Right.
Condoleezza Rice, for example, she's very successful and single. So I think the focus, what is our focus? Do we have something else than just thinking marriage, marriage, marriage? And then, when that doesn't happen, our life is kind of destroyed.
I think it has a big deal with where you came from and what you grew up around. Like for me, I came from a broken home. Nobody was married. So I'm like, I want a husband. I want something different for myself. So that's one of my desires. And you mentioned it before, that God knows the desires of our hearts. So like what Mindy said was that we learn from the broken relationships. We learn from those relationships that are not successful, because I feel like he's preparing us for the desires that we have in our heart. So if the relationships that didn't work out, if they had gone forward, they would have been a failure. You know what I mean? And if I'm wanting a successful marriage, and God knows that, and he wants me to, be in a loving marriage, then he's not going to give me something that's not going to, create that.
So are you willing to wait as long as it could take? I mean, I'm sure you have friends who are in their 30s, 40s, even 50s, who have been waiting for that person to come, especially never married women. And it's like, okay, Lord, when am I going to see that person? I mean, I'm in my 50s.
I can't say, because I'm 27.
Right.
So I'm saying, I'm really just going to be prayerful and continue to stay focused on, the work of the Lord, and stay focused on, making sure my spirit is right. So right now at 27, I'll, prayerfully consider waiting on God.
Well, I have to say, I've been single 10 years now. And if you had asked me, at 24, 25, 26, I was not okay with being single, and I was not okay with waiting. And I am now so thankful that God took those men away, that he rearranged circumstances the way that he did, because I would have been back in a miserable marriage. And I think we all know married people who are miserable because they didn't set it up right. They didn't get married to whom they were supposed to get married to. Yes, they would have had to wait. Yes, they probably needed to work on themselves a little bit more. But the men I attract now are completely different than the men I attracted 10 years ago. And I'm so, so thankful for these 10 years of being single.
Well, any friends you've talked to who deal with this kind of issue and really are not trying to hear that it's something that they did or it's their fault? Or
Look, all of my friends.
All of your friends.
All of my single friends. No one wants to hear that it's your fault. I'm a little rough around the edges, as my mother would say, so I just kind of tell it like it is.
Right.
But sometimes you have to be considerate and think of people's feelings. And yes, I was just talking to a friend of mine recently who was just, I don't understand why I'm at this age and I'm single. She's divorced, and it's been, I think, about 5 years. And, she has a daughter, and she's doing well for herself, and everything else seems to line up except for that. You get into a relationship, and you sometimes move too slow, sometimes move too fast, and then if you move too slow, you end up in the friend zone. If you move too fast, you end up unhappy, and you end up with emotions tied to things that you didn't want in the first place. So it's just hard to navigate the waters right now. I think it's finding out what you're doing in the meantime, keeping yourself busy. I think Mindy said one time, finding someone, if you're running your race, finding someone at the end who's right there with you, finding someone who understands that you're both just trying to make it.
I like what you just said. Well, we're all talking good here, but I'm just saying what you said, focusing where your focus is.
Yep.
You see, I remember before, when I was younger, my focus was my body, my face, oh, beautiful. Now is the best time to get married, I thought. Nowadays, I don't care. Wrinkles are coming, so what? Welcome. Hey.
Yes, they are.
Yes, so no problem, because inside of me, I have so much more.
Yeah.
I have somebody needs to be attracted to my character. No, I'm not gonna be all crazy, but physically, but it's it's a fact of life, you know. So my folks, I keep myself busy.
Mm-hmm.
I have, you know, I know my gifts, and I'm working on
You're
it.
working the gifts.
And I'm busy. I don't even see time passing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, but if we focus only on our physical appearance will fade away.
Yeah.
No matter what, married or not married. And if it's a guy is fixing the physical, when you get old and wrinkled, he's gonna drop you, get somebody else younger.
Right, right. Well, when we come back, Dr. Renee is going to be with us to put that little spiritual tip in there to tell us how we can have the right focus with God when it comes to the waiting. So stay with us. Welcome back, and we have Dr. Renee back with us, and you know, we always are looking forward to the words of wisdom that you share. So Dr. Renee, what do you tell someone who is angry with God or annoyed with God because he has not sent their mate yet?
Yes. As Mindy was saying, is that, yeah, you can be, because God knows that you're angry anyway. So it's no need in faking with him. But what it does is it allows him to be able to meet you where you are. The Bible says the truth will set you free. And so you stand in that truth, this is where I am. And he can let us know in return that a lot of our anger comes from certain expectations that we had. And we expected for it to turn out this way, and we expected for, as Dom said, for this to be the one, maybe. And lots of people, yes, we do make mistakes, and I thank God that I didn't have that made, and God is good and all of that. But sometimes it just gets very raw. I'm sorry. And you have waited and you have tried to do everything the way God has told you to do, and you have prayed and you didn't ask God for the person. You feel like God sent the person to you. You did everything the right way, and it still does not turn out. And I don't care how many, times we know, oh, well, God is working it out, and God is faithful and all of that. There comes that time when you're just like, no, I don't feel good. And this is not good. And I don't understand your ways. But I feel like by telling God the truth, like I said, of that, he can bring that comfort and he can bring that peace in the midst of it. And sometimes you do just have to sit with that anger and with that pain for a while. You just have to sit there. And God, in his time, will remove that,
That's so hard.
And yes, it is. It is. But it's very real, because even when Jesus was on the earth, he came to the earth to die. That's what he came for. But when it came time, he said, God, let this cup pass from me. Yes, I ain't feeling this. This is not good. But when he said that, and when he did that, God was able to come down. He sent his angels to comfort him and be of peace, and give him that peace. And he could say, nevertheless, not your will. And so that's where you have to get to the point, is sit with it. Don't try and pretend and, oh, this, that, and the other. No, God, I'm not good. But I want to get to the nevertheless part of it. And when I can get to nevertheless, whatever your will is, And that comes from a place of trusting God.
I was going to ask you, how do you get to that place?
Yes.
What are you telling the devil when he is filling your mind with doubt and the fact that God doesn't love you? Look, he hasn't answered your prayer and all that. How do you get to that place?
Yes, you get to that place by sitting right in that sadness where you are. That's how you get to that place, is by sitting there and saying, God, if you don't do something, I don't know what's going to happen. That's it. That's it. God, I need for you to give me a peace in the midst of this storm. I'm not going to ever understand your ways. I'm not going to ever, but I need some peace in the midst of this. And I trust you that you will give that to me. And I don't need to understand everything. As I said, you're not going to, okay? But I need some peace in the midst of it. And God will move heaven and earth for you. He will do it. And one day you'll wake up, as I say, my soul just wakes up one day and I'm just good. And I say, yes, Lord. Yes. Hallelujah, Jesus. Yes, I am just good. But until then, I just have to sit in, I'm not good. And if you're not trusting God, you have to say, Lord, help me to want to trust you even, because sometimes we don't.
Right.
Help me to want to believe in spite of this. And I see all these people all around who are getting married, and they may not even be trusting God or even asking God, whatever the case may be. And their marriage seems to be okay. And I'm trying to do this, that, and the other. And I'm trying to live by the principles. What's up? Help me.
Because that's also a thing where
Yes.
you do the comparison thing.
Yes, you do.
And
Yes, you do.
but we know everything, how it looks on the outside
Right.
is not necessarily what the truth is.
Correct,
But we
correct.
can't help but compare ourselves to other people.
Correct. And sometimes you just have to know that no, they didn't do it the right way and whatever, and their marriage still is okay. We try to take comfort. Well, we don't know. He might be awful in the background. All the time, that's not the case either.
True.
And so you're like, God, what? I don't understand this. But just get to the point. Lord, I want to get to the point where I can say, nevertheless, whatever it is, God, I'm good. But you cannot do that as long as you're faking faith, as long as you're faking contentment, as long as you're faking peace, because the truth sets you free.
Right.
And he who the Son sets free is free indeed. Because if he doesn't set you free and you're doing all of these mantras, I say, all of the spiritual things, you got all the scriptures, you got all this stuff, and you're saying, he's like, I want to get in there and really give you peace. But you got it all worked out. You think, you're saying all of these scriptures and I'm just going to be strong. No, I'm weak. And in my weakness, you make me strong. Amen. Yes.
No, I was just saying, so our completion has to be first in God. Because if we feel like we're not complete with a mate, we will never be complete anyway, even if we are married, because nobody has the obligation to make us complete but God.
Correct. But sometimes we think we're complete.
Wow.
Yeah. And we don't realize that we're not until we get in certain situations. Yeah.
Well, this has been powerful.
Yes.
Powerful. And I hope you feel so too. And before we wrap things up, as usual, we want to hear what the guys have to say about whether or not you think God has dropped the ball if you're still waiting for that special someone to come along.
Okay. No, I don't think so, because we have free choice, and we can't blame God for the choices that we make and the position that we are at in life.
No, I don't think God dropped the ball. I think the reason why I'm still single is because he wants me to focus on who I am and where my life is going. And also, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want me to waste my time falling in love with different people, but he wants me to fall in love with that one person that he has for me.
No, I think he dropped the ball. Actually, he gave me a second chance to find a better jewel. I've been married before and I'm divorced, but now I think he's given me a chance to take my time this time and study and observe that jewel he has placed for me somewhere in this world.
Yes, I don't believe God dropped the ball at all in regards to any of us being single. I believe that if you're single right now and you feel like there's a higher power stopping you from getting with someone, that may mean that you have to take care of yourself and maybe progress further as a human being before God blesses you with someone else to live your life with.
No, I don't believe God dropped the ball. I believe we dropped the ball. If we put God first in our relationships, I believe we have a good winning relationship.
Well, thank you. We're so glad to always hear what the guys have to say on our question. And as usual, we want to know what you say too. So give us messages. Twitter at Patty with an I, Conwell. Facebook us at Patty Conwell. Leave messages on the bottom of the YouTube channel and tell us what you think about this issue. And as usual, I hate that we have to end so quickly, and it seems like there's so much more that we can say, but we're going to come back next week. And next week, we want you to join us for the question, what is on your perfect man or woman's shopping list? Thanks again to First Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Cafe. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.
Baby doll was in the dollhouse, Barbie Ken, how it's supposed to be. But it seems like something's missing from the equation, you and me. Tell me, why am I not having fun? Yeah, in this game we play. Well, if you're tired of trying to fight the fantasy, you need to hear what I have to say. Okay, get your dancing shoes on, we're gonna have some fun today. Hey, hey, single people all over the world say God made me this way. Hey, hey, you don't need nobody else to have some fun today. And just snap your fingers from side to side and say,